The Better Meat Co. makes plant-based proteins that can blend seamlessly into ground meat products at inclusion rates of up to 50%. But who are these hybrid products appealing to, and will the blended trend catch on?
Okay, so let's start with the blended concept. Companies have been adding small amounts of soy to processed meat products for years for functional reasons. Certainly not something they're shouting about on pack. What's different about what you're doing?
The Better Meat Co. makes formulas that are designed to be blended into ground meat at anywhere from a 30 to 50% ratio. So we are really boosting products that makes them, though, not only better on nutrition and better on sustainability, but it tastes indistinguishable. So with other types of ingredients like the ones that you're mentioning, if you start going above 5%, it's very noticeable to the consumer. For our products, it's very difficult, if not impossible, to really tell a difference when you do a blind taste test.
Okay. So are these blended meatballs and burgers and other products gateway products for meat eaters that want to feel like they're doing their bit, but still want that meaty hit?
It's possible that there are some customers who will be like that. It's also possible there's just a lot of people who don't want to stop eating meat, but they're happy to eat meat that's been boosted with plant protein.
Yeah.
And so we want to serve anybody who wants to enjoy a less meat diet, whether that's getting less meat in the form of switching entirely to products like Beyond or Impossible, which is great, but also when they eat meat, they'll be open to having plant protein as well.
So what's the key attraction for food service and CPG companies? Is this about saving money or meeting sustainability or health targets, or just tapping into a hot trend that seems to be gaining traction?
Well, there's a lot of benefits to using Better Meat Co. ingredients. So first and foremost, there is a cost benefit for certain types of meat because at least on products like beef, we're cheaper. At the same time, there's also a taste and nutrition and sustainability benefit. So in blind taste tests, when consumers test a solely meat product versus a product that's been blended with our ingredients, oftentimes they actually prefer the blended because it has a better mouthfeel. And then they're also getting less saturated fat, less cholesterol, fewer calories, more fiber, and so they are definitely getting a product that's better for them, better for the planet, and often they'll think it tastes better too.
Okay, so we've got meat alternatives now like the Impossible Burger that many people think are just as good as the real thing. Why go halfway when you can have 100% plant-based?
Sure. Well, I love products like Beyond and Impossible. I eat them. I think they're great. However, I think we should put things into context. Less than 1% of meat that is sold today comes from plant-based meats. More than 99%. So even if we have a quintupling of demand for these products, virtually all meat will still be coming from animals. And so, I'm very supportive of those companies. Of course, I'm rooting for them. But we have to keep in mind that most of the meat that's being sold is coming from animals, and for a long time is going to come from animals. And we can help by blending our plant proteins into those meats to help the consumer who wants to enjoy less meat but isn't going to become a vegetarian.
So tell me a bit about the value add that you specifically add to this, because there are plenty of companies around who specialise in plant proteins. Why don't these big CPG companies and others simply go directly to those suppliers of plant proteins rather than working with a third party like yourself?
Sure. Well, many companies offer single ingredients. That's fine. If you want to use it, that's great. But we offer products that are better than that. Our products are combinations of plant proteins, fibers, fats, and flavors that mimic the taste and texture of meat, so you can blend them in at very high levels without noticing a difference. So we offer superior products to those type of individual ingredients that you're referring to, and at a cost-effective way.
And it's a kind of drop-in solution, so you've kind of done the R&D work, and you'll say this can work at, 40% inclusion rate in this product. Or...
That's exactly right. We consider ourselves like an R&D shop for a company that wants to do some type of blending, but maybe isn't going to spend the time or resources to figure it out. And we have figured that out. We already have these products that are good for them.
So I guess this might validate your business model somewhat. You've done some tie-ups with some pretty big names. Tell us about that.
Sure. So Perdue Farms uses our protein formula in their chicken tenders, nuggets, and patties that they are now selling in 7,100 supermarkets across the country, including in Walmart. The product is called Chicken Plus, and it's about a 50-50 blend of chicken and plant material. So what you then have is a product that has a quarter cup of vegetable nutrition per serving, and that has the same amount of protein, but has less saturated fat, less cholesterol, and fewer calories, and it tastes just the same.
Okay, so tell me a bit about your IP. Do you have any IP around your ingredients or process?
Like most of the food industry, we operate around trade secrets. At the same time, we are exploring patents on certain processes that we're utilizing right now.
So tell me a bit about how much money you've raised to date and how much more you might need for the next stage of your development.
We closed a $1.6 million pre-seed round that closed at the beginning of 2019. And we're now in September 2019 as we're recording this, and we're soon to be closing our next round, which will be probably closer to $6 or $7 million.
So, bigger picture, you've written a book about cell-cultured or cultivated or clean meat. You're tracking all the plant-based meat companies as well.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm sure you're following trends from other protein sources as well. So, where do you see the meat market going in 10 or 20 years' time?
Well, I read Food Navigator so that I can keep up to date on all the trends that are happening. But I do monitor all of this because I think it's so critically important for the future of our world, for the future of humanity, for the future of the rest of the species on this planet. And so I am rooting for the cultivated meat companies, I'm rooting for the plant-based companies, and I think blending is an opportunity that has barely been tapped at all, and I hope that the Better Meat Co will be a big part of promoting that type of a solution as well. I do think that we're going to see more and more of the meat companies rebranding themselves as protein companies, as several of them are already in the process of doing. And that will mean that it could be protein coming from animals, protein coming from animal cells, protein coming from plants, protein coming from yeast or fungi or other types of microorganisms. And so I think we're going to have a much more diverse array of where we're obtaining our protein in the future than we do today.